Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we'll explain the Pythagoras theorem. In this video, we'll show that the triangle has a right angle and using the Pythagoras theorem to solve the right angle triangle. Okay, so have you asked yourself how builders can create a right angle without using a protractor, just only using the meter measuring? Alright, so to answer this question, I asked one of the builders and he told me that if we measured the first side and it was 60 centimeter and the second side it was 80 centimeter, so the diameter between them should be 100 centimeter. So mean that the angle between the side should be right angle. So how it's work? Okay, Pythagoras, the mathematician, he answered this question before thousands of years. So he said if you have a right angle triangle and you draw a square from the altitude side and another square from the base side and another square from the hypotenuse side, and the length side of the altitude square is A, and the length side of the base square is B, and the length side of the hypotenuse square is C. So if you find the area of each square, we can find the area of the square by multiplying the side by itself. So A power 2 is the area of the first one, which is the altitude, and B power 2 for the base square, and C power 2 for the hypotenuse square. So Pythagoras, he found that the area of the red square equal the area of the altitude square plus the area of the yellow, which is the base square. Mean that C power 2, which is the area of the hypotenuse, equal A power 2, the area of the altitude, plus B power 2, which is the area of the base square. So for the right angle triangle with the length side of A and B and C, we will have Pythagoras theorem. That means the hypotenuse square equal the altitude square plus the base square. So we can mention it by c square equal a power 2 plus b power 2. So this is the Pythagoras theorem and this is the relation between the sides of the right angle triangle. Okay, so see this example. Work out if each triangle below is a right angle triangle or not by using Pythagoras theorem. So we have three triangles here. Let's start with the first triangle. In the first triangle, we have the sides 40 and 8 and 41. All right, so by using the formula of the Pythagoras, c power 2, which is the hypotenuse, equal altitude side power 2 plus base side power 2. So for this triangle, this is A, altitude, which is 40, and the base is 8, and the hypotenuse, if it's right angle triangle, is 41, which is the longest side. So if we first of all we have to find the square of the hypotenuse 41 power 2 is equal 1681, and then for the altitude side power 2 40 power 2 is 1600, and for the base side power 2, which is 64. Now if we add the altitude side power 2 plus the base side power 2, the answer will be 1664, which is not 1681. So mean that 40 power 2 plus 8 power 2 is not equal 41 power 2. That means this is not right angle triangle. Now for the second one, the pink one. Okay, so this is altitude side, which is 52, and the base side is 39, and the hypotenuse side is 65 centimeter. Now, using the Pythagoras theorem, we have to start from the hypotenuse. 65 power 2 is 4,225. And for the altitude one, 52 power 2 is 2,704. And for the base side, power 2, 39 power 2 is 1,521. Now, if we add the base side power 2 plus the altitude side power 2, the answer will be 4,225, which is same as the answer of the hypotenuse power 2, 65 power 2, 4,225. So mean that 52 power 2 plus 39 power 2 equals 65 power 2. Mean that the altitude side power 2 plus the base side power 2 equals the hypotenuse side power 2. Mean that this is a right angle triangle. So for the third one, now this is A, which is the altitude side 58 and the base side 28 and the hypotenuse side C 65. Let me start with the hypotenuse side 65. 65 power 2 is 4,225. And the altitude side 58 power 2 3,364. for the base side 28 part 2 is 784. So if I add the altitude side part 2 plus the base side part 2, the answer will be 4148, which is not equal 4225. So mean that 58 part 2 plus 28 part 2 is not equal 65 part 2. So mean that this is not right angle triangle. So this is how to know if the triangle is right angle or has a right angle or not by using Pythagoras theorem. Now we will see how to solve the right angle triangle by using Pythagoras theorem. Look to this example. Don't forget that if the unknown side is the hypotenuse, so add the square of the leg side. The leg side means the base and the altitude. And if the unknown side is one leg, so subtract the square of the length of the given leg from the square of the length of the hypotenuse. Okay, we will explain this in this example. See the example. Find the missing side in each right angle triangle by using Pythagoras theorem. C part 2, which is the hypotenuse, equal A part 2, which is the first leg or the altitude, plus B part 2, which is the second leg or the base side. Okay, so we have this right angle triangle. Now in this right angle triangle, as we see here, the altitude side is 12 centimeter, the base side is 5 centimeter, but the hypotenuse side, we mention it by x centimeter. Okay, so since the unknown here is the hypotenuse, so as we told, now just add the square of the length of the legs. So mean that x power 2 equal 12 power 2 plus 5 power 2 direct. So if the hypotenuse is not given, just direct add the square of the length side. So x power 2 is 169. By finding the square root for both sides, x equals 13. So I mean that the hypotenuse is 13 centimeter. But in the second triangle here, we have 20 centimeter for the hypotenuse, 16 centimeter for the altitude, but y centimeter for the base. Now the base side here is not given, and the base is a leg of the right angle triangle. So mean that we have to subtract the given leg, which is 16 centimeter, from the hypotenuse power 2, which is 20 centimeter. Mean that y power 2 is 20 power 2 minus 16 power 2. So y power 2 is 144 by taking square root, so y equal 12. So the next side of the base is 12 centimeter. For the third one, MNO, this right angle triangle, the hypotenuse is given, which is 17 centimeter, and the base side, or the first leg, is 8 centimeter, but the altitude side is unknown 3 centimeter. So, since the altitude is not given, or one leg is not given, so I can uh, solve this question direct without any steps by subtract 8 power 2 from 17 power 2. So, z equal under the square root 17 power 2 minus 8 power 2, and you can find the answer direct. Z equal 15, so this side equal 15 centimeters. So this is how to solve it without steps. Okay, so for the right angle triangle with the altitude side and base side B and the hypotenuse side C. So Pythagoras theorem said that the hypotenuse power 2 equal the altitude power 2 plus the base power 2. Mean that C power 2 equal A power 2 plus B power 2. If you want to find the length of the hypotenuse side, so add A power 2 plus B power 2 under the square root direct. Or if you want to find the altitude side, so subtract B power 2 from C power 2 under the square root. And if you want to find the base side direct, so subtract A power 2 from C power 2 under the square root. Thank you for watching us. See you in next video, inshallah.